I walked into my kitchen at 11 p.m. and found my husband with his hand on my sister's shoulder. They were laughing. That kind of private, inside joke laugh that makes you feel like a stranger in your own home. I asked what was so funny. They both looked at me like I'd interrupted something sacred. "Nothing," Jake said. "Just talking." Mia smiled. "Yeah, relax." Relax. I asked why they needed to talk alone in my kitchen at 11 at night. Jake sighed. "Here we go again." Mia shook her head. "You're being paranoid." "Dramatic," Jake added. They said it at the same time, like they'd rehearsed it. What would you do if the two people you trusted most made you feel crazy? I didn't argue. I just walked upstairs, because I had 3 months of receipts, and they had no idea. Where are you watching from right now? Drop your time zone in the comments. And if you've ever been called too sensitive when you knew something was wrong, hit that like button. Let me take you back to where this really started. I'm a data analyst. I work in healthcare. I'm paid to find patterns, to notice what doesn't add up. My sister Mia is the opposite. Free spirit, artist, the golden child. Growing up, she got away with everything. I was the responsible one, the boring one. I didn't mind. I loved her. I married Jake 4 years ago. He was steady, kind, or so I thought. 6 months before that night in the kitchen, Mia went through a bad breakup. She called me crying, said she needed a fresh start. I suggested she move to our city. Jake agreed. He even offered to help her find a job. I thought it was sweet. At first, she came over once a week for dinner, then twice, then 3 times. Jake started working late on the same nights Mia visited. When I mentioned it, he said I was overthinking. But here's the thing. I keep spreadsheets for our budget. I track everything. It's just how my brain works. So when things started feeling off, I did what I do best. I started a log. Dates, times, who texted first, who suggested the plans. I told myself I was being ridiculous, that I'd look at it in a month and laugh. But the data didn't lie. Mia was at our house 4 nights a week. Jake's late nights matched her visits perfectly. And the texts, they were constant. I wanted to be wrong. I really did. But the pattern was already screaming. One night, I finally said something. Jake and I were getting ready for bed. I kept my tone light. "Hey, do you think maybe Mia could come over a little less? I feel like we never have time, just us." He stopped brushing his teeth. Turned to me. "Are you serious right now?" I blinked. "I just thought, she's your sister. I'm helping your family." The emphasis stung. "I know, I appreciate it. You just what? You're jealous of your own sister?" I felt my chest tighten. "That's not what I said." "It's what you meant." He left the bathroom. Conversation over. The next day, Mia called me. She was crying. "Jake told me you're upset about me coming over." I tried to explain. She cut me off. "I can't believe you'd think something like that. After everything I've been through?" "Mia, I didn't say you never wanted me to be happy." She hung up. 2 days later, Jake sat me down. "I think you should talk to someone," he said. "About your trust issues." I stared at him. "My trust issues?" "Yeah, this jealousy thing. It's not healthy." I asked if he could just spend a little less time with Mia, just to make me feel better. He shook his head. "If you make me choose between supporting family and entertaining your paranoia, we have a bigger problem." I felt the ground shift under me. I apologized. I told Jake he was right, that I was stressed, that I'd drop it. He smiled, kissed my forehead, said he was glad I was being reasonable. I tried to act normal. I really did. But they got bolder. Jake and Mia started taking weekend trips. With a group, they said. I asked to see photos. There were never any other people in them. My friends started asking questions. "Are they always together?" One asked. I laughed it off. Made excuses, but inside I was unraveling. Maybe I was broken. Maybe I was paranoid. Maybe grief and stress had made me see things that weren't there. Then came the family dinner. My parents were there. Mia stood up with a glass of wine. "I have good news," she said. Jake helped me get a job at his firm. "We're going to be working together." My mom clapped. "Oh, honey, that's wonderful." My dad shook Jake's hand. Finally, someone who treats Mia right. I sat there, smiling, dying inside. I excused myself to the bathroom and cried silently into a towel. I thought I'd lost my mind. But that night, I opened my laptop. I still had the log. I still had access to our accounts. And I wasn't going to ignore it anymore. Our phone plan was under my name. Joint account. I logged in. I pulled the records for the last 6 weeks. And there it was. Jake and Mia were texting 40 to 60 times a day. Calls lasting 30, 40, sometimes 90 minutes. But here's what made my blood run cold. The text stopped when I got home from work and started again the minute I left. The pattern was perfect. I opened a spreadsheet, color-coded everything by time of day. There was a spike every single night after 10 p.m. Then I saw it. 2:47 a.m., 53 minutes. I was asleep next to him. What kind of friendship needs a 53-minute phone call at 2 in the morning when your wife is right there? I took screenshots, saved everything to a cloud folder. I labeled it receipts, phone records, 1,846 texts in 6 weeks. Average call length, 41 minutes. I sat back in my chair. I wasn't crazy, but I needed more than numbers. I needed something they couldn't explain away. So I kept digging. 3 days later, Jake came home with news. So Mia and I are going to that conference in Denver next month. I looked up from my laptop. What conference? The marketing one. I told you about it. He hadn't. We're sharing a hotel room, he added. Company's cutting costs. I felt my stomach drop. Sharing a room? Yeah, it's a double. What's the problem? I didn't answer. He sighed. Please don't start this again. That night, Mia sent a message to our family group chat. It was long, emotional. She said she was worried about me, that I wasn't acting like myself, that I seemed to resent her happiness, that she thought I needed help. My mom called within the hour. Honey, maybe you should talk to someone. You've been so stressed. My dad texted. Be kind to your sister. She's been through a lot. No one asked for my side. A week later, I checked our bank account. Jake had opened a separate checking account. He'd moved $2,000 into it. The memo said, Denver trip. $2,000 for a work conference? I looked at the date. The trip was in 10 days. I had a deadline, and I wasn't going to waste it. I went back to our credit card statements. We had one shared card. I was the primary account holder. I downloaded 6 weeks of transactions, and I started highlighting. Dinner for two. $187. February 14th, I was out of town that night for work. A jewelry store. $890. 3 days after my birthday. I got a card. Rides to and from her apartment. Dozens of them. Spa days, dinners, wine bars. $4,732 in 6 weeks. Then I found the one that broke me. A boutique hotel. One night. 2 key cards charged to the room. The weekend he told me he was at a bachelor party. Room service breakfast for 2. Couples spa package upgrade. I zoomed in on the date. I remembered that weekend. I'd called him Saturday morning. He said he was hungover heading to brunch with the guys. He was at a hotel, with her. I took screenshots of every single charge. I built a second spreadsheet. I labeled it Receipt 2. Now I had the pattern. The money trail. I just needed to know why. I started digging into Mia's social media. Her Venmo was public, and there they were. Requests to Jake, rent, bills, groceries with a heart emoji. She wasn't just heartbroken. She was broke. Her ex had left her with debt. She'd been fired from her last job. Jake wasn't helping her. He was rescuing her, and she was letting him. Then I found the email. We share an iCloud account. I set it up years ago. His drafts folder synced to my laptop. There was one from 2 weeks earlier. The subject line, confidential consultation, separation timeline. I opened it. My wife and I have grown apart. I'd like to understand my options before making any decisions. It was addressed to a divorce lawyer. I scrolled through my photos, found a screenshot I'd taken weeks ago by accident, a text notification I'd glimpsed on his phone. Mia had written, just a few more months. At the time, I thought she meant her lease. Now I understood. He wasn't confused. He wasn't torn. He was already gone, and she was waiting. I closed the laptop. I wasn't losing my mind. I was being erased, but not anymore. The next morning, I called a divorce attorney. I brought everything. The phone logs, the credit statements, the draft email. She looked through it for 20 minutes. Then she looked up at me. You've done my job for me, she said. This is airtight. I asked what I should do. File first, she said, and move your money now. I went home, opened a new bank account at a different branch. I transferred half of our joint savings. It was legally mine to take. I redirected my paycheck. I packed a bag with essentials, documents, photos, clothes. I stored it at my best friend's house. Then I asked the attorney a question. When should I serve him? She smiled. When do you want maximum impact? I told her about the Denver trip. She nodded. The morning of is perfect. I scheduled the process server for 7 a.m., the day of his flight. I didn't confront Jake. I didn't cry. I didn't ask questions. I stopped looking for explanations. I started planning, and I gave them just enough rope. They were about to hang themselves. The morning of the Denver trip, I was already gone. I'd moved my essentials out the night before while Jake was at a dinner meeting. At 7 a.m., a process server knocked on our door. Jake answered. Mia was there. I know because my friend was parked across the street. He was served divorce papers in front of her. I didn't answer his calls. There were 47 of them. By 6 p.m., he and Mia showed up at my parents' house. I was already there, waiting. My attorney was on a video call from her office. Laptop open on the dining room table. I had printed copies of everything. Jake walked in first. Mia right behind him. This is insane, he said. You're blowing up our marriage over nothing. I didn't say anything. I slid the folder across the table. Read it. He didn't move. My dad picked it up. I opened my laptop, turned it toward them. Phone records, I said. 1,846 texts in 6 weeks. 40 calls after midnight. Mia's face went pale. I clicked to the next screen. Credit card statement. $4,700. Jewelry I never saw. A hotel room the weekend of the bachelor party. Jake started to speak. I held up my hand. I clicked again. Draft email, sent to a divorce attorney 2 weeks after Mia moved here. My mother's hand went to her mouth. I turned to Mia. Your Venmo is public. Rent, bills, groceries, all charged to him. It's not, Mia started. It wasn't like that. I looked at Jake. Tell them about Denver. About the shared hotel room. He said nothing. My dad stood up. His voice was shaking. Get out of my house. My mom was crying. She pointed at the door. Both of you, get out. Jake tried one more time. You're making a mistake. I finally spoke. I'm not dramatic. I'm done. They left. The divorce finalized 4 months later. Jake kept his 401k. I kept the savings we'd put aside for a house down payment. And my car. It was a clean split. I didn't ask for alimony. I just wanted out. 2 weeks after I filed, Jake's firm found out about the relationship. Turns out, dating a coworker's family member violates their workplace ethics policy. I didn't report them. A mutual friend did. HR launched an investigation. Both Jake and Mia were quietly let go. Mia tried to text me a month later. I'm sorry. I was lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I responded once. I hope you find yourself away from me. I blocked her number. My parents called a few weeks after that dinner. They apologized. They said they should have listened, that they were ashamed they believed her over me. I forgave them, but I set boundaries. I love you, I told them. But I will never defend my reality again. If you doubt me, I'll walk away. They understood. I started therapy, not because I was broken, because I wanted to heal. I learned the difference between intuition and anxiety. Mine was intuition, and I should have trusted it sooner. A year later, I'm in a new apartment, plants on the windowsill, a coffee routine I actually enjoy. I'm dating again, slowly, carefully, and I trust myself now. I know what red flags look like. I know what gaslighting feels like. I know my worth. Jake and Mia, I heard they're still together, living in a different state. I don't think about them much anymore. I think about the version of me who walked into that kitchen at 11 p.m. and knew something was wrong. She was right, and she deserved better. Here's what I learned. Being called dramatic doesn't mean you're wrong. It means someone wants you to stop looking. So keep looking. Trust your gut. Save the receipts. Because the truth always comes out. And when it does, you'll be ready. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been gaslit, then found the proof? Drop your story in the comments below. You're not alone. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. I share a new story every week. And remember, trust your gut. It's smarter than you think. This has been a fictionalized dramatization and is not legal or financial advice. Thank you for watching.